Yo, what's good? It's Pika. I'm over here. It is Thursday night. Okay, technically Friday morning, but I'm still awake. Actually, I fell asleep, but I'm up now. So, what do I want to talk to you about tonight? Obviously, the usual. I want to go ahead and recap my day for you, which was kind of simple actually. Started off with a Growth Tribe meeting this morning, and it was pretty damn productive because it took us maybe, I don't know, 3 hours to finish that, and then we got to the office and we set up for the Kids World Fair this weekend. So I will be based out of Expo for the next 3 days. So if y'all are around or you want to go show your kids a good time and pick up some freebies from all the booths around us, please stop by, okay? Hopefully I'll see you around this weekend. But once we were done with all the preparations and photocopying and stuff like that, I actually came off. So I came back, picked up the baby girl, came home. We had dinner together. We watched Mirasol, which is a new Vijay movie. It was a really good movie, actually. Quite intriguing. A little bit of a plot twist in there, but that was kind of cool too. So if you haven't seen it, please go watch. And a lot of deep meaning in there. Which I'm kind of glad the Indian government kind of allows that. People are, doing stuff about things that matter. They're making movies about things that matter. And while it looks like entertainment, there's a lot of innuendo and a lot of meaning in these movies that are coming out lately. So I was actually quite impressed. Okay, so finally put baby girl to sleep. Not without a little bit of a fuss as usual, but she's asleep, and here I am talking to you guys. Excuse me. Okay, so let's start. I want to talk to you about water today. Not because I'm thirsty, not because I'm a water sign, which I am, but I happened to put together a post for Instagram today, and I chose to talk about water. Bruce Lee is one of my favorite martial artists. I love the martial arts. I do watch a lot of martial arts movies. So it started with Mortal Kombat, and The Quest with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and obviously Jackie Chan's in there. We used to watch Walker Texas Ranger a lot. And then obviously we just evolved. Jet Li became one of my favorite artists. Unfortunately, he's not as cool as Jackie Chan because Jackie Chan does all his own stunts, but the movie was still pretty damn good. So there have been a lot of kung fu movies, a lot of, ninja movies. The Three Ninjas, Surf Ninjas, where Ernie Reyes and Ernie Reyes Jr. were in that movie. I mean, just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, come on. So it was a lot of martial arts growing up, obviously, because I have two little brothers. And it was a lot of fun. But the wisest one that I know of being Bruce Lee. So there is a quote by Bruce Lee that says, be formless, be shapeless like water. That if you are poured into a cup, you become the cup. If you're poured into a teapot, you become the teapot. So the fact that water takes on the shape of its container no matter what it's been poured into is like a beautiful quality in that you are adaptable, you're mutable, you can absorb some of the characteristics of the things around you while still being yourself. So it's kind of quite beautiful. Another thing that I realized, water is quite a powerful force on Earth. It can erode Earth. It can destroy iron. It can, what else? It basically is like a badass element, which I really appreciate. But even more than that, there are a lot of analogies you can draw with water. Lately, a lot of the focus in my life, including the Periscope this morning, has been about relationships. Now, on the Periscope, I talked about understanding other people, making sure that you put others first. And if you understand what it is that they need in their life for them to feel significant, if you understand that, you have a blueprint to how to make sure that they're happy, to make sure that, if you ever needed anything, you could get what you needed without hurting anyone, to make sure everyone actually feels like they're needed and important. In that same vein, relationships can be a lot like water. Have you ever actually tried to hold water in one place? If you were to put water in your hand and close it into a fist, what would happen? Basically, if water is trapped, it will carve itself a new way. You probably run out through your fingers, right? So, What I'm saying is, if you want a relationship to succeed, you cannot hold it like a fist. Obviously, the water will seep out of your hands, but if you were to hold it gently, almost like a cupping motion with your hand, you can hold the water there as long as you want. To a degree, obviously, it will drip a little bit, but the best way to hold a relationship is not with a closed fist, but with a cupped hand, kind of like a caress. You hold it gently. You support it as much as you can. You do not. It's not a dictatorship by any means. You can't control a relationship. It doesn't work that way. Most times, the other person kind of feels that control, gets irritated by it, and basically walks off and does their own thing. So, if you're looking to nurture a relationship, I think that's the best word I can use. The nurturing motion of your hand, basically to cup it or to put a loving embrace, something like that. That's the best way to hold a relationship. It ties in with the Instagram post today as well as the Periscope today as well. Whatever you do, if you want to become relevant, if you want a relationship to work, you cannot by any means force it to work. If you force it at some point, the other person will resent you, and that's the last thing you want. If you tell people how to love you and tell them, I need you to do this, this, and this, at some point you will question whether they did it because you are loved or they did it because you demanded. So these things you need to take into account. You don't want to spoon feed anyone into how to love you. If they love you, if they really matter, if they really think you matter, if they want to be there, by hook or by crook, they will find a way to be there, no matter what you do. Okay? Obviously, if you keep pushing them away, eventually they're just going to start walking because they get used to not being around you. But if they care enough, they will find a way to make you happy. Now, I know there are several relationships around me where the other person is doing everything they can to make sure that the first person is happy. The first person, however, is not interested in whether that second person is happy or not. The first person is interested in making sure that they are happy, that their needs are being met. The first person is finding it more convenient to make sure that they control the other person because it feels good to them. Meanwhile, the other person is feeling trapped. The other person is feeling manipulated. The other person is feeling like they have nowhere to turn. They kind of are stuck where they are. Now, mark my words, I've been in that position before. You are not as stuck as you think you are. You can't get up and move. You can't get up and change things. But that doesn't stop people from feeling some kind of way about you. Okay? So, as I mentioned, the best way to nurture a relationship, to make sure the other person in your relationship is happy, is feeling appreciated, is making sure that that you approach everything with a loving hand. I was always told that you have the power of the universe within your hands, and it's really up to you what you decide to do with that power. You can either create with your hands, or you can destroy. It's really up to you. So, in my opinion, the best way to do this is to approach things with a loving hand. You make sure you speak life into people. You make sure that you pay attention to who they are, what they like, and from there be intuitive enough and take the initiative to love them the way you feel. To love them the way you feel that they deserve, to love them the way that you understand that they need, and to make sure that you genuinely see results once you've done whatever it is you think you need to do to make sure that they're happy. Now, in the right relationship, the other person will reciprocate without any problems. You won't have to push it. It won't be, like pulling teeth. It will be natural. It will be a natural part of everything. When you love someone, it's meant to be a situation where you go to that place, to go to that person to serve because it makes you feel good to serve. Now, any boss will tell you that if you speak life into your employees, you treat them like they matter, you take in consideration whatever their concerns are, and you genuinely go to make sure that these people's lives, your employees, are well taken care of. You know for a fact that these people will bend over backwards and do anything you ask if you ever were to ask. They will be the happiest crew And they'll be only glad to be able to serve you back. So, in any relationship, if you go there with an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion, and wisdom, there is nothing you can't accomplish. Now, yes, that little bit that I actually quoted is from a prayer. It's called the Universal Prayer that we used to say. It's a translation from a Sanskrit prayer, and it's actually quite beautiful. At some point, I will have mastered how to love someone else. But until then, I need to master how to love myself, because in loving myself, I do love the people around me. It does mean that I will make sure that whoever is around me is not a group of people who will tear me down, because you cannot give from an empty vessel. Okay? If I love myself, I will make sure that I am of good health, my mind is balanced, that I am in a place that is fairly clean and comfortable to work out of, so that when the time comes to give and to serve someone else, I am 100%. So, today, we're talking about water, and I feel as though water has a great quality that can be applied to almost any situation. And for me right now, I feel that the message I need to be giving you all has to do with relationships. So, quit your ways that are driven by ego, because to manipulate someone else, the drive for power, that's all ego. The need to serve, the need to connect, the need to be needed, that's love. So as water, a water sign, I'm a Pisces, I'm telling you, go at everything with a loving heart. Go at everything with a loving embrace. And the sky is the limit. And most times when you go to serve with that idea in your heart, nothing that happens ever really upsets you. When you go to serve, you're not expecting anything in return. Love is a one-way street. It is giving, 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 giving. You do not expect anything in return. And I think I've mentioned this several times before. If you do go there and you get upset that, hey, I did this and this and I didn't get anything back, the expectation that you've set for yourself, that makes this not love, but a business deal. So please, pay attention, be very, very aware of who you are and why you're doing things. Because within those expectations is where all of your misery comes from. The fact that you expect things to work a certain way. The fact that you think that if you do this, this will happen in return. It doesn't always have to happen that way. There's a lot of free will involved with the universe's plans. So, be water, my friend. Be shapeless. Be formless. Be ready to serve. Be ready to forge your own way if you feel that you're trapped. Realize that you have such power within you, such strength. All you need to do is dig deep and tap into it. I hope I made some sense tonight. It was something that was on my heart, and lately I've been following my intuition a lot. I find that when I'm talking to people, once they begin talking to me, once the interaction part begins, I'm driven to tell you certain things. Things that I feel would actually really resound with you, would really help you understand who you are, what's going on, and then maybe see your situation from a different point of view. So lately I've been following my gut a lot. And I feel that someone out there really needed to hear this bit about relationships. You cannot control everyone. That's not the way love works. That's ego. So, be kind to one another. I know we're getting ready to go into another weekend. Like I said, I will be at Expo for the next 3 days. If you want, come out there and meet me. Otherwise, I will catch you again tomorrow, okay? And I do hope you have a very, very restful weekend ahead of you. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.